panel is starting right now, so how's everyone doing this morning? Yeah, I know, it's very early in the day and morning. Anyways, welcome. This is the Minecraft Mob Talker panel. This will be me talking about the YouTube series that I've done, or been working on. So, a brief introduction about me. My name is Ken Redgrave. I use he/they pronouns. I'm basically like a jack of all trades, like in terms of like doing hobbies, like doing YouTubing, cosplay, idol stuff, photography. I've been known for doing this series since 2012, and just these are a list of the favorite series, anime shows, and I've recently graduated with a master's in developmental psychology. Alright, so let's get down to business. So the history of Mob Talker. So for those who don't know, Mob Talker is basically a mod where you could talk to mobs like creepers, endermen for example, and they're like personified as like anime girls, and you get to talk to them like a visual novel style. I do have a history of like the mod progress of both Mob Talker 1 and 2. It's all in my card. So basically, I know you can't see it right now, but basically how the scripts work is basically there's two different versions. There's the script for Mob Talker 1. It's like very basic. I wouldn't really call it like coding. It's mostly just like writing scripts and like what face expressions you want. I'll get more into that into detail a little bit later. And then there's Mob Talker 2, which is basically it's more coding-esque. I basically use like a converter to converts how the writing is for Mob Talker 1 to Mob Talker 2. And so I'm gonna go briefly about like how scripts work. Again, I know you guys can't see it, but there's different facial expressions, like I said, like pound face, and then there's all these different kinds of facial animations. This is the Wither skeleton personified as an anime girl, so that's just one of the examples I put. And so for faces, there's usually 6 to 7 facial expressions. There's normal, happy. There's supposed to be a sad one, but this one was not in the mod itself. Scared, shy, tired, and angry. Those are the different facial animations that you can mess around with. And there's also other stuff. There's a pound, make shadow, which basically converts the mob that you're trying to talk to into an actual mob that you can talk to. Condition is basically your options, or like giving them choices and all that. And then there's all these like different kinds of codes, fetching a name, self-dead. I will make a video about like how to actually create the scripts, because it's a little bit complex, but anyone can make scripts. I'm just a script writer, I'm not a mod creator. And so once you get everything together, this is just an example of what it'll look like when you're playing Minecraft. And it's just, this is also for my script as well. And so it's just me talking to the creeper, and there is an actual storyline to this. By the way, you ran out with a hotspot. And so there's all that. I do have a video of like how to install the mod. I use either Multi-MC or Prism Launcher. I think mostly Prism Launcher. It runs a little bit better for me, but regardless, you still need like a legitimate version of Minecraft. But I do have a whole tutorial on like how to install it. There will be a future video of how to write the scripts for it. So these are the compatible mobs for the Mob Talker 1 only, which is Minecraft 1.5.2. It's a really older version, but it hasn't been updated for modern versions until like months ago. So these are all the compatible mobs for Mob Talker, ranging from the creeper all the way to the skeleton as listed. And these are the names that have been given to them. The ones that are in quotation marks are the names that I gave them. So like Charlotte, the Gas, and Blazette, the Blaze, for example. And there's only like a few official names, like Cupa the Creeper, Andr the Enderwoman, and Yabi the Zombie. And so that's everyone that you can talk to. And then for Mob Talker 2, the amount of compatible mobs is half of that. In which half of the mobs have been taken out, and there's been 2 other mobs that have been added in, which is Lucifer, the Wither skeleton, and Misere the witch. And so some of the works of Mob Talker that I've done. So these are all previous works. So the mod came out in 2012. Yes, these are the thumbnails I made. So these are all like the different versions I've done. There's the classic version, which was in late 2012. There was a remastered one, basically almost the same things, just with grammatical corrections. There's the remake, the pilot version at this point. Oops, I did not mean to do that. There's the remake, the pilot of the remake, which is just like an animation that I've done basically by myself. And it basically ceased development until I get around to actually making the proper animation version. And there's this little joke that I made. It's called the Kawaii edition, in which I converted all the scripts into ooh talk for an April Fool's joke. But we're not here for the classics. I mean, some of my fans really do like the classics, but what we're gonna focus on is the Mob Talker 2025 trailer, or the series itself. I do have the trailer for it. This is just the teaser trailer, by the way. That is so damn loud. But this is basically a teaser of what's new to come. Basically, that's new graphics, which is basically me using shaders, and a completely new story that I've rewritten based on some parts of the classic scripts I've done into a more fleshed out story, better character development, character backstory, etc., etc. And that's just basically what I've released for this teaser. And yeah, here's another actual, I guess you could say, a demonstration of how the mod operates into the game itself. And there was also a new addition to the series that I've done, which is I brought in voice actors to help voice the characters for this particular series. There was a little hint. I'm not sure if anyone on my YouTube channel actually got that. And so I'm going to be showing a first glance of basically how these chapters came to be. I'm not going to show the whole thing because it's like half an hour long, like each chapter usually. But you're going to get a first glance of how the first chapter looks. I'm going to go with the first chapter, which is basically Cupa the Creeper. so that was the first glance of the first chapter, and that was voiced by the wonderful Kitty VO, I believe. So shout outs to her for helping me be a part of this project and to voice Cupa. And so yeah, that's one of the examples of like how the chapter looks. Voiceover is obviously added in post, but I'll get more into that later on. And yeah, that's basically how the story goes. It's a pre-established. It's based on a pre-established story that I had originally written with Cupa having amnesia, and you see later in the chapter why she does. And I'm going to get into the second chapter, the first glance at the second chapter. This one's a little bit shorter than the Cupa one. It won't be like 5 minutes long. However, with the way, just a little warning, with the way that I have written many of the scripts, it will even address that at the beginning of the video, that some chapters really delve into the heavy topics. So it can get pretty dark as shit. So just a little warning right before I pull up the glance of the second chapter. Sorry if it's dark as shit. Some mobs you can only talk to at night. So I didn't like piss off or whatever.
What do you want from me, you satyr? Yeah, you men are all alike bastards. You assholes think you can just say sweet things to an innocent girl and then break my heart by giving me false hope. All of you men are damn liars who think of nothing but their lower halves. You do whatever you want, even if it means taking advantage of a girl just to get some action. You're just a satyr, like all the others. Just leave me Why? So you can take advantage of me too? That's how men work, right? I bet you were thinking about it too. Damn horny satyrs. You don't know my life. You don't know what I experienced, what I suffered. You think you know me, you entitled, misogynistic piece of shit. Try living in my body, see how you enjoy life. If I knows again, just leave me alone.
So you can definitely see how heavy Chapter 2 starts out. And again, that one was voiced by the wonderful Towser TV, voicing Andr, the Enderwoman. And so yeah, like I said, some chapters have heavy topics like what Andr has experienced, and there are some other mobs that have gone through some other like different heavy topics. And again, this was pre-established. So Andr's trait is that she calls men satyrs, and I'm pretty sure none of y'all have heard this term until today. Basically, satyr, it doesn't mean the mythological creature. It's a weird slang meaning like, you know, like a horny person or like a horny man. And so that was her trait, and I made a pre-established like story where like she has a strong distaste or like a dislike for men, and I basically turned it up a notch for the 2025 version. And so yeah. Anyways, moving on. And I also done like some meet the cast, basically just getting to know the person behind the microphone, you know, getting to know the person who's like voicing the characters. I basically done all this for like almost everyone that I've casted. So for example, I have a good voice actor that I've met during the recording process. Moxie Fever, she voiced Lucifer the Wither Skeleton. This is one of the more briefer ones, but it gives up better insights out of all the meet the cast. Some of them can be very long, like 15, 20 minutes-ish. Some of them can be shorter, like 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm gonna show off Moxie's next.
Even amidst her bitter loathing of humanity, my mother still found the capacity to open her heart and embrace a child like me into her care. Despite her malevolent and psychotic tendencies, my mother perceived something worth nurturing in me. Hi guys, I'm Moxie Fever or Moxie. I go by she, her. I'll be voicing Lucifer, the Wither Skeleton, in Mob Talker. Bonus, I will be turning 29 this year. I am a seamstress, cosplayer, and horror game lover. And hyperfixation is my motivation. During my short experience with voice acting, I've done a few voices, nothing crazy, just classic villains, fancy ladies, worried parent types. But I do want to push my voice into more areas. That takes a bit of trial and error and time on my part, so we shall see. I came across this project on Casting Call Club while looking for work to try and gain some experience. Initially, I was not going to apply, but due to the vast cast of characters and details provided, it certainly grabbed my attention. And later a friend sent me a link, so I thought maybe it's worth giving this a go. While learning about the project, I listened to other cast members bring their characters to life, and I will say Laura the Slime is an absolute cutie and is one of my favourites. So massive well done to the voice actors within this project for doing amazing, and well done to the director for giving such good guidance and giving the characters life and emotion. Well done guys. Originally, I auditioned for the character Evelina the Iron Golem. She seemed like someone I thought I could give a mature voice to, but sadly it was not meant to be. But consider my surprise when it was then recommended I try for Lucifer the Wither Skeleton. So after reading about her, she gained my respect and understanding. And in goes my audition, and here we are. While recording, I got the joy of learning about Lucy a little more, getting the chance to bring this strong, refined, and slightly cheesy character to life. I like to believe we bonded well over a cup of tea and discussing how our past has kind of turned us into who we are today. But I will say she was the first project that had me doing quite a few lines, so I was very intimidated and unsure, but thankfully the director was on the ball. He was an absolute delight, and he just made the whole recording process an absolute giggle. So, if any bloopers do come out, you get to experience my very unladylike behaviour, but I do hope you enjoy. My journey to voice acting has only kind of just begun. I'm only 4 months in since I've kind of started up in December 2024. So what I will say during this short experience is ask questions. Like, for example, the director of this project has kind of told me that it's okay to inquire if you're unsure about how to pronounce a certain thing in a line. Ask. You'll never know until you ask. If they get upset for you for asking, that's not a good director. So don't let that hold you back. But this experience has been enlightening. I've made some lovely friends. I've met some really cool people from like studios and stuff. So having those cool interactions kind of shows that everyone is human. And if you just talk, make connections, you can go a lot of places. I think that's what a majority of voice acting is. Talking to people, making connections. Just focus on that and it can take you quite far. One of the main challenges I face with voice acting currently is my audio. Trying to keep it clear, trying to keep it crisp, which can be quite tricky when you're starting out, but don't panic. You don't have to pay a fortune for a sound booth on the get-go. A few blankets and a quiet place can work wonders. Plus, playing around with your mic and settings also works a treat, so it's very much trial and error. Also, self-doubt needs to be thrown out the window, like immediately. The whole, oh, I don't think my voice will be a right fit. That's not your choice to make. If you see an audition and you think it looks cool, throw your audition in. The worst that can happen is you're not chosen. You don't lose, no one loses. And if you get chosen, you get chosen. Like, it's still a step in the right direction. So don't be afraid of that what if. It's a bit silly. It took me a hot minute to get over it. But yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But I shall leave you be now. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to be part of this project. I do hope you guys download it and get to enjoy it to its full capacity. If you think I might be a good fit for a project, please do message me on Discord at MoxieFeverPlay. I hope you have a lovely day, guys, and thank you so much for your time.
So the Meet the Casts are usually released after the episodes. Usually first I would have in both ways, the audience and the voice actors get to know the characters first before giving their insights. So, like I said, Moxie Fever has voiced Lucifer the Wither Skeleton, and I gave her the script for Lucifer and have her do the Meet the Cast staffer. Now, I'm pretty sure in terms of, you guys are wondering about casting, I've used a casting call club to open a casting call, just to have any usually beginner or experienced voice actors to come help out voice the characters. There's a lot of characters into this, and with the Meet the Cast series, or with the Meet the Cast videos, there's usually in the description resources for anyone who's interested in becoming a voice actor. Usually voice actors would recommend the website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, and so you could use that as your resources. And also during the process, I usually help voice actors give tips and advice, how to use a microphone, like doing this as one of the tips, and like some other stuff that they would need. Like, for example, Moxie Fever, like when she gave me some of her voice lines, it sounded like she was boxed in, and she has told me that she was making like a booth for like her recording sets. And so one of the advice I gave her was like basically just buy some soundproofing foam, and it actually helped wonders, because otherwise she would still sound very boxed in, and it would really, like, I really care about the small details, so that's usually one of the reasons. And also, I stated in my casting call that I will be using their auditions to do basically a voice reveal, and that's usually released before the episode airs. So I have compiled like the whole thing. I'm not going to show like the whole thing, but this is just to get a general idea. So for the casting call club, usually I give them like 3 different lines as part of their auditions, and this is the audio that they're given. Obviously, it's not the final product, but the final product is what you see. In the final version of the chapters, which is some of the first glances that I've shown.
You asked me to just say sweet nothings to an innocent girl, then break my heart by giving me false hope. You're just a satyr like all the others. Excuse me? Could you please help me get home? I'm lost and I can't find my way back. Dad, I was Laura. Stephanie, it's nice to meet you.
And so that's usually how it is. For time's sake, I'm not gonna show all of the voice actor reveals. Everything is uploaded into my channel. So this is everyone that's been casted for the entire series. There is 15 chapters to this overall. And so we have Kitty, who voices both Cupa and Laura, Towser voicing Andr and Charlotte, and this is all their socials that they usually like to promote. Chips voicing Catherine and Silver the Silverfish, Lord of Pisces voicing Stephanie the Slime and Andra the Ender Dragon, Rue voicing the Magma Cubes, and Dokes voicing Jennifer the Magma Cube and Blazette the Blaze, Moxie voicing Lucifer, Jinx voicing Suzanne the Skeleton, Loop voicing Minnie the Spider and Yabi the Zombie, Kwani voicing Cindy the Cave Spider, Cake voicing Evelina the Iron Golem, Malu voicing Yukari Iceland the Snow Golem, and Lumila Belrose voicing Misery the Witch. And so again, that's the entire cast that I brought, and now it's time for future projects, finally. So the next future project after the 2025 series is a 2020X to hopefully celebrate in time the 15 years of Mob Talker, in which it will have any updated and expanded scripts, story, or any of the chronology, because I messed up the chronology, but that will be fixed in the updated version. There will be some new voice actors. This is usually to prevent any future conversation overlaps. So for example, I've casted Towser as both Andr and Charlotte, and usually in the story they do interact with each other, and I hope to prevent that by getting on some new voice actors to replace like some of the stuff that I've double casted. And then some new sprites, like some things I have promoted but I haven't put into the base game, and hopefully it'll be using a new mod or engine which will help me add characters to Mob Talker, as well as the Cube Mobs model compatibility, which is basically instead of showing like a creeper looking how it usually is, it changes it so that it looks like anime girls. And so that's one of the projects. And then yeah, a special announcement of one of the future projects, which I will be showing live right now. This is just another teaser trailer, by the way.
I must say, I had anticipated an entirely different course of events. And yet, this development was rather unexpected. What could have prompted this interest? For years, I had the honor and privilege of serving the gracious Lady Charlotte. It is hard to give a reputation as a Lucifer, you may address me as Lucifer. Let us hope that our next encounter will be on occasion.
So one of the newer future projects is called Legacy of Lucifer. It's heavily inspired by the Legacy of Kain games itself. Basically, it is a what if story, but more so based focusing on Lucifer rather than the generic protagonist that you play as. And it will be written in basically a Victorian style script. And so yeah, I also have promotional wallpapers. They will be in the download link of whenever I do release the video of this panel. And there's different kinds of versions that I have made. And shout outs to Joe for making the logo, and to Prince Emron for making the renders. And so that's basically it. I think I'm going to open up to Q&A for the last moments that we do have. So for anyone that has questions either on the project, the 2025 project, or just Mob Talker in general, now would be a good time to do so. If anyone has any questions. No, I know. I'm streaming this, by the way. So I know someone in chat is like, "Why not turn it into a dating sim?" It really depends on like who's making the script overall. Me, I like to do like story development and like I said, anyone can make any scripts. People have made their own like R18 scripts, and yeah, it goes really into detailed, like very Wattpad shit. And kudos to you, but that's just not my style. Yes.
Can you talk a bit more about what goes into the development process, like in terms of all the different pieces coming together? How do you organize that?
So I basically rewrote the scripts itself. So like I said, with going all the way back to Cupa's. So her pre-established story was that, you know, she has amnesia. So I basically rewrote everything from scratch to just, you know, further their background and everything. Once I get the scripts out, I open the casting call to on Casting Call Club, and just get people to audition. Once the audition deadline passes, I start listening to everyone's auditions, and it's not too strict where it's like, okay, this person has auditioned for, you know, this character. If I don't like it, then I'm just gonna take him out. I try to be flexible. It's be like with Moxie said, she's like, you know, I don't think you fit Evelina the Iron Golem. I think you fit more into Lucifer the Wither Skeleton. So they do that. I give them about like a month to voice everything in the script. If they need extensions, I give them extensions. Once I get the voice lines in, I start the recording process, like you see in the first glance videos, recording all that to try to get the timing down, and then add in their voice lines in post. So it's not in the older mods itself, but hopefully it will be once I make either the updated project or like the RenP version. And so, yeah, that's usually how development goes. And I usually do all this by myself, like not counting the voice actors. Any other questions or someone in chat?
I was curious on how you would like your audience to best experience this. Do you consider it more machinima, like a passive experience, like when you upload chapters to your YouTube channel, or do you want to create a more interactive, gamified sort of thing?
So it's a little bit of both. Like, yes, it is machinima style, like what you've been seeing right here, where everything is, well, almost everything from this series is uploaded to my YouTube channel, but also I put everything in the description of the videos, as well as the mod installation, how to install the mods. But in the corresponding videos, like Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, for example, each of them have their own scripts that you could download. And so you could put that into the game, and then you could also experience it for yourself. So again, I went with I tried to do it with a gender-neutral name and writing as best as I could. Hence, why I went with a unique name like K. So yeah, you could watch these videos for yourself, or you could also, you know, experience it as well. And hopefully, with the updated version like 2020X, it will be even more like interactive, where you get to hear everyone's voice while you can also play it yourself in whatever name that you chose for your character. So is there any other questions? We have like 5 minutes left. So open to any other questions. Otherwise, speak now, forever hold your peace. All right, other than that, that's pretty much my card right there. It's cpublacksoul.card.co. It has most of my social media on there, and like the stuff I do. There's also a QR code that you could scan if you want. Other than that, I hope you guys do look forward to the rest of the 2025 series and any future projects that I have coming up. Thank you guys for attending the panel. I hope you have a fun YumeCon for the rest of the day. All right, thank you guys for coming in, And there will be edited video of this panel after the con ends. So give me some time on that. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, have fun and stay safe, and be sure to stay hydrated. Hey, are you guys excited for that? Will you use AI at all? There is. Oh yeah, that's a thing that should be addressed. There is no AI utilized in this series because fuck AI.
Oh.
We don't need AI for this shit. Freaking people are already upset that people lost their jobs due to AI, and now we gotta deal with this shit.
And using up all the water.
And using up all the water too, yeah. ChatGPT uses 2 or 3 bottles of water, so don't use AI. So no AI has been used for voice acting, no for script writing, nothing.